Hey guys, how's it going? I got some more things to tackle here on the Ford Falcon. A couple of real fun ones on here. And it's kind of sarcastic, but first on my list, I do want to rotate the tires. It's probably going to be the easiest thing. The fronts haven't been aligned yet, and on the inside of the tire, it's wearing a lot faster than the outside. You might be able to kind of tell there's the missing tread pattern there. So I want to rotate those to the back before they're completely gone, so I can drive it up there and get an alignment done on it. I need to install the traction bars right here, and these are the Summit Racing brand. I've had good luck with the Summit brand in the past. They were about half the price of the Lakewood units, and they're not as good as Caltrax or doing a 4-link in the rear, but I just figured, why put the money into some Caltrax when these were like 70 bucks? And hopefully this solves my issue or makes it a lot better, a lot more manageable. And then, because ultimately I do want to put a 4-link in the rear, and so just save my money towards that instead of buying expensive Caltrac units. So I got those. I want to get those on there because I'm having turbo wheel hop and axle wrap and all that, because it's just a single leaf spring, and it's, you know, obviously the old suspension. So I want to get that done. I want to install a PCV system, which I got over here. Got my breather, and I got this little Summit Racing PCV valve right there, and just plumb that into the carburetor, which will be pretty easy. I want to change the trans fluid and change the rear gear fluid, because the rear gear and the rear, I guess the whole rear axle and the transmission are brand new or new built. Transmission has a fancy thicker gear set. Essentially, it's a higher horsepower rated gear set, so hopefully it takes a little bit more abuse. And I run this stuff in it. A guy who builds them calls for Dextron compatible and full synthetic. So this is what I ran last time. It seems fine, so I'll run that again. I got 3 quarts of that, and then I got the rear gear oil. They recommend 80-90 from Quick Performance, so I'm just gonna run that right there. And then I also want to put some RTV on the third member bolts, because I think they're not sealing properly. I used a gasket instead of RTV all the way around the rear third member, and unfortunately I think it's leaking through the threads on the bolt because it's not properly, I guess they're just not sealing. So I want to put some of this on the threads, just kind of jam it in there, put the washer and bolt on there, and hopefully that'll seal it up. And I also want to bleed the rear brakes, because at the moment I don't really have much in the way of rear brake stopping power. It's mostly all on the fronts, which hasn't been a big issue because the wheel woods on the front do just fine. So I do want to get that taken care of, and then adjust the proportioning valve. And so yeah, it's pretty cold out today. It's a solid, I don't know, 15 to 20 degrees out here. So this might actually be broken up into a couple parts on different days, when hopefully it's a little bit nicer out there, because I've been out here for a couple minutes and I'm already getting pretty cold, and I don't really have a way to heat this up. So with that, let's get started. All right, so one of the big things trying to get out of the way here is the PCV system. Should be a pretty simple, pretty easy thing to do, and I can do it before actually pulling the car out, where it's probably even colder outside. And I know you people from the north are probably gonna make fun of me. I just don't like working in the cold because my hands hurt and you bust your knuckles on everything, and it's just not very fun. But anyways, it's pretty simple. Some of the benefits of the PCV system is that it'll actually recycle and recirculate and burn all the kind of vapors in the engine. And so they're not just floating around in the engine. The carburetor, you hook it up to vacuum. You have a valve over here that hooks up to vacuum the back of the carburetor, in my case right there, and it just sucks it from one side, and then you have a breather on the other side, so the air is just moving through. So what it does is it prevents all the vapor from building up in the engine, and I guess there's some benefits. Less sludge in the engine, like as you might notice if I check my oil here. It's a little hard to tell, but it's a little dirty for 500 miles. And that could be to some extent to blame on just, you know, the kind of sludge environment in there, just having breathers. So it's not, the pressure's not building up, it's escaping, but it's not being actively removed and removing the vapors. So that's what the PCV system does compared to the old school breathers like this. But these work, don't get me wrong, they work, but they're just not as ideal. And as you can see a bunch of sludge and kind of the engine oil vapor up in there that's just floating around in the engine. And with the PCV system, you won't have that because it sucks it up and burns it in the carburetor there. Especially right now, I think the engine had quite a bit of it. Decent little bit of the sludge stuff going on. Maybe a little bit of blow by. Not a whole lot, but again, it's a high mileage motor, so wouldn't surprise me if there's a little bit. No, that's the wrong size. I don't know. If it came with the right bushing there, but it's pretty simple. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's nasty. Look at all that. That's just nasty. That's not even like an oily consistency. It's just a foamy kind of frothy oil. That's just nasty. And that's not the milkshake that is popular with the milkshake where it mixes antifreeze with the engine oil. It's not that, but it's still just nasty. Oh, get in there. Get in there, buddy. Okay, there we go. You can just take your valve, and what this does is it's a one-way valve. I believe it just doesn't let backflow. So if there's a backfire in the carburetor, it doesn't, put a bunch of pressure in the engine and blow out all the seals and gaskets. I believe that's the purpose of this. But it is important. You need a PCV valve. Don't just run a vacuum on one side and breather on the other. Make sure you've got a proper PCV valve in place. This one's kind of nice too because it's a nice kind of nice finish on that anyways. This piece of hose. This unfortunately is not the hose I had in mind. It's just an old piece I had to find, but very good view there. Let's see if I can show you what I'm going for. I'm trying to just get that little vacuum boot off of the carburetor here. There it is. And then all you gotta do is grab your piece of hose right here, pull them on the back of the carburetor, and it's important that you look it up. Make sure you put it on your carburetor's PCV port, because you don't want it just on manifold vacuum plugged into the manifold somewhere, because I hear what that can do is it can lean out a cylinder. I think what this tries to do, if you plug it into the PCV port on the carburetor, it tries to kind of spread it out on all the cylinders, because again, you're recycling all of the like oil vapors and blow-by gases and just recycling it back into the carburetor. If I can get this hose on there. These are no fun to work with like this. No fun at all. Okay, put this into PCV. It's like slightly small, but I'm leaving it to work. It's like I knew I had extra one was the right size, but I'm wearing it, so this is making it a little more difficult. Come on, buddy. There we go. No. All right, come on. Okay. Got both sides on. They're barely on, but hopefully I'll just keep an eye on it. I'm going to change that hose out for a proper one here in the future, so that's not permanent, hopefully. All right, the next piece of the PCV system is a breather, and specifically a filter breather, because now, instead of just venting the excess pressure, so the engine's pressurized with just regular breathers on there, like these old school ones. So it's just pressurized, so there's no air getting sucked into the engine. It's just kind of gradually moving out of it from the natural forces. But now when you have a suction on it, it's going to suck in air from this side. So you need a filtered breather. You don't want these because it'll just suck dirt and debris through that into the engine. So pick up one of these with a filter on it, and it's pretty easy to tell because it's filter material instead of just a like chrome cap to it. All right. And just trying to pop that into there, just like so. Yeah, look at that. PCV system complete. Filter breather on one side, and then the vacuum on the other. So this will just help the engine, hopefully, because I saw there's some vapors coming out. So there's some sludge, there's some old engine oil and vapors and stuff floating around in there. So this will hopefully clean that up and keep it cleaner moving forward. And yeah, so it's easy as that, guys. And now I think I will move on to doing something else. Alrighty, just like that, we can go ahead and cross off something on the list there. And I think next I'm gonna tackle the traction bars, and I'm gonna rotate the tires. I might put off the trans fluid, the rear gear fluid, and all this stuff. I might do this here in next video perhaps, but for today I'm gonna get the traction bars on and hopefully rotate the tires as well. And just because I still can drive it around a little bit on the old break-in fluid for a little bit longer and just test everything out, try and get the traction bars dialed in. So yep. And look, that's wearing evenly. So this tire's gonna go up front. My tire. Okay. And as you can see, the brakes, they're rubbing. That's why it's rust in there, but they're not hardly doing anything. So gotta get that fixed. And there's those leaf springs. Get those slapper bars on there. Yeah, and see, I'm really surprised how clean the frame is. All right, and here's those traction bars. And I saw people commenting they used them on 60s Mustangs. So pretty much the same size leaf springs. That should go on there. I have to put some spacers in there, but hopefully just about like that. Yep. All right, so I've got this one started. And I think how I'm going to adjust it is I'm going to get it, because once it's all the way up there, it's just a slight gap there, which I think is about what I'd need. And I want it close to the front, so I think I'm going to screw it up just about like that. And it's kind of hard to do while videoing, so I'm just going to do this and then I'll put you back on. All right, I got one side on there, and now I'm going to go ahead and go put the other side on, and then I will put you guys back on. All right, we got both sides of the traction bars on. You are, look at that classic traction bar look. It's kind of cool looking. Anyways, another big item off the list here for the day, and I think the last item of the day. I'll take care of that in a minute, because actually I might want to save the rear tires in good shape. So there we are. Now all that's left to do is go take it for a spin.